Hi, I'm here. I'm getting set up. Hi, guys. I had to change locations because it was super windy out. Oh, I guess I don't need these. Hi. All right, let me come find you. I'm coming. Woo! Happy Sunday. Hi, guys. All right, I'm coming to find you. Hold, please. I'm coming. Oh my God. What up, Gina? It's like, whoa, windy outside, like a death storm out there. So normally I do them out there, but I couldn't today. Even all the plants out there, like my palm trees and stuff, are all knocked over. What up, Rebecca? Okay, now I'm coming to find you. You guys have me scrolling out already. And we're just getting started. Oh my God. This has been the craziest 8 weeks of my life. But I'm pretty sure I've felt that way 700 other times. Hey, Susan, my team's on. Okay. I still haven't come to find you. I'm coming. All right, hold please. While I'm trying to focus for 4 seconds, tell me what you guys do on your Sundays. Like, what is a happy Sunday to you? Tell me. I'm really curious what you guys do on Sundays. Like, what is your Sunday routine? Do you have a Sunday routine? Okay, where am I going? I'm going to my public figure page. Here you are. I'm coming. I'm taking extra long today. Okay, so do you want to know something personal? My kids are smart, very smart. Sometimes I think they're smarter than me. And they're going through this whole phase of like, let's push the limits as far as we possibly freaking can to see if mom will let us freaking get away with it. They totally are doing that. Okay, one share, hold on, I'm coming. Working tonight. Usually it's a relaxing day. Chilling, watching Lady Gaga, long bath. I love baths now. I used to hate baths. This is what I realized. I used to have shitty baths. I actually liked baths. I just never had a nice bath that I could take a bath in, and now I do. So now I realize that I love baths. My bath is epic. I would show you because it's right there, but I may have left a trail behind me. There's definitely a trail of shit going to my bathtub, so I will not show you. I will take a picture and post it sometime of my epic bathroom. When we were looking at houses in Florida, there was this one bathroom. You walked in and it was like all granite from the floor all the way up to the ceiling, and then there was a bathtub in the middle of the room with stairs going up to it, and then there was a glass wall behind it, and you had to walk around both sides to like a double shower behind it, and then it had walk-in closets on each side of it. I don't even remember where the toilet was. Who cares where the toilet was? You ain't peeing in a bathroom like that anyways. Okay, I'm not even done sharing yet. Hold on, guys. I'm coming, I swear. Hey, Paula. What's going on, sister? Okay, so I know everybody's dying to know this. And, of course, just so you guys know, okay, it's shared. Oh, that's right. I have one more group to share it in. Love it on my health coaches, because I know a lot of them are wondering how the fudge to make all of this happen. So I'll make sure I share this in there too. Okay. So I know that everybody's wondering this kind of stuff, right? And of course, I'm going to let you know that the new group Unlocking Greatness is live, and specifically who this is for is people who can see that there's these high level groups, there's high level mentorship, people traveling the world, crushing life, banging out the numbers that, you know, that are just like make everybody wonder how they're doing this. And there is a specific method, and I'm going to share a lot of this today. I want you guys to know this stuff and understand this. Like, first of all, you can never hear too many times how to maximize support in your life. Like, you just can't hear that too many times. And a lot of this I bet you've never even heard of. But even other than that, like, how do you even look for it? Like, what is it that you're looking for? How do you know epic support for you specifically? Because what's right for one person is not right for the other person, and that's what it is, right? And so you need to know, and I've gone through enough and invested in myself enough times and gone through so many different people that I've gotten a taste and like a clear, concise ability to be able to recognize when something is really epic support for me in specific periods of my life. Does this make sense? Okay, so what the Unlocking Greatness program is for anyone who sort of has that in their radar. So first of all, not everybody wants to be in that kind of room, and that's okay. It's not like a should or have to. It's not required, right? But other people like long to be in a room like that. I did. I longed to be in a room full of great people, like not just good people, great fucking people, like people who were just breaking all the fucking rules and doing shit that everybody else was like, how are you doing that? And they were happy. Like I could tell they were happy. Like, I know this might be triggering a little bit for some people, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's honest for me, right? I'm honest. I'm allowed to be honest, right? So when I was younger, I was raised in a church, and I just remember looking around the church and being like, these people are miserable, right? And I know that's not true for all churches, for sure. I've been to somewhere that's not true. But my experience was looking around like, this ain't it. I don't know what this is, but this ain't it. And that version wasn't it for me, right? Like it was a different version for me. So like for me, what's been on my radar, like, okay, this is like another thing. We're just gonna say all the fucking things right off from the get-go, right? That I'm following my soul glow on you. Oh girl, I love you. Thanks, Kat. Okay, it is true. It is true. Even though shit's messy, it is really true that I'm happy. Okay, so I was in these places and I would be around people where I would just recognize like they're not happy. Like that person's not happy. I can tell they're not happy. And then like, okay, as I started getting healthier and I started pulling in resource, I remember I would like, let's say I would go to a Reiki practitioner, but the Reiki practitioner looked stressed the fuck out. Like, I'm not coming to you as a Reiki practitioner if you look like you're stressed out and can't sleep and you don't know how to calm yourself. Like, why would I do that? That doesn't even make any damn sense. And that doesn't have to be true for you. I'm not saying that's like a rule that everybody has to follow. I'm saying it's true for me. I'm saying, if I'm hiring you as a trainer, you better look like how I want to look. If I'm coming to you for Reiki, you better look calm as fuck. And if I'm coming to you to help me design the life that I love, you better be happy, right? Like these are just common sense things for me. And if I'm being really honest, my whole life, I was always made to feel like that was bad. Like you have to, like it was judgmental. Like I'm required to give people a chance. Like I owe them something. Like somehow just by existing, I owe people something. Like I owe you something for just because you're trying to be something. And so since I'm looking for something that you're currently doing, I now owe you something. Or other things, like I remember in my business, there was particular people in my life who made me feel like I had to hire someone because a family member did whatever thing I was looking for. And lucky for me, like some of the people that I've hired have been great help, and I outgrew them fast, naturally. Because if you're hiring someone because you know them and not because they're an A player who are the highest level version of what you're looking for, you're going to outgrow them really fast, and then you're going to kind of do the work all over again. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now that's not to be mistaken for, I'm going to take no action because I want the perfect version of something and I don't know what that is yet, so I'm just not going to do anything. Don't do that. I did that bullshit too. That was ridiculous. Or like when I had, what's it called? Infusionsoft for an entire year, which is like $400 a month, the version I was paying for, maybe even $500. And I paid for it for an entire year and never fucking used it ever. Because I wanted to use the best. I didn't want to ever have to upgrade. And then someone somewhere along the way said something really brilliant to me, and it was basically like, well, what platform should I use? And they said, whichever one you'll actually use. And I was like, oh, of course that makes sense. So that's true for support and mentorship as well. Like, don't not hire someone because you're not sure if it's perfect. How do you think I can share the information that I have with you today? The reason I can share with you my wisdom on being able to pick awesome mentors is because I've allowed myself to go through processes. I've gone too far. I picked people that turned out to be real shitheads, really, like only one person, but you know, I had a shithead mentor, and that's what it is. And that person is out of my life, and that's what it is. And I'm sure karma will come around, and that's what it is. And it's not my thing. It's not my problem. I'm super grateful for the experience. Like anything that resonates with you in the moment, you're allowed to step into, and that is your call. Okay. Sorry, Confusionsoft. How have I never heard that? Can I say I definitely agree on that one? That's all I have to say. Okay, hi Jackie, hi Michelle. Okay, so, sorry, I scrolled out. Unlocking Greatness. The point of Unlocking Greatness is for me to teach you all the things that you need to learn in order to have a clear vision, a measurement in your head of exactly what's required in order for you to be ready to get into the rooms where those fucking epic people are, where the multimillionaires are, where the leaders of our industry are, where the thought leaders are, where the people who are saying things that blow your fucking mind. Do you know why we say things that blow your fucking mind? We say things that blow your mind. I've learned this. And it's true for every person ahead of me that says things that blows my fucking mind. Because you outgrow yourself to a certain level. Like you just keep growing to a certain point where what's just normal for you is so out of the realm of like possibility for someone who hasn't done the work to get where you're at. So my number one recommendation for how to choose a mentor is by being open to something new. Because the way someone ahead of you thinks, who has the result that you want to have, gets them the result that they have. And the way you think gets you the result that you have. So if you are wanting the result that somebody else has, it would be sheer wisdom for you to be open to considering actually trying on and experiencing and trying out the way the person who has the result you want thinks. Because the way they think is the thing that gets them the result. It's the way that they think, right? Like when I first started, I remember like I was always taught, growing up in a very poor family, I was always taught that you save money for a rainy day, that you don't ever put stuff on credit. It's biblically unsound. You do not like get loans or anything like that. And then I remember when I was in the room with these higher level people and I was reading books about, you know, wealth, and that Grant Cardone book that I read, that whatever that little workbook is, it's actually brilliant. Whatever it is. I put my drink somewhere. And I remember I started to like these concepts that I thought were like just really like out there, right? Like what? You're going to use debt in order to launch yourself to the next level, or you're going to take these really risky leaps. And like, if you put yourself in a position where you're required to show up, then of course you will show up. And I was like, no, that's dangerous. Right? Like most of my years as an adult, I was a single mother. And so as a single mother, it's like, you don't do dangerous shit. You do safe, secure, guaranteed shit because your kids require you to put food on the table, right? Like I literally wondered where the food was going to come from most of my life as a single mom, as an adult, right? For the last 16 years, 15, 14, 13, 12, like the last 12 years, not including obviously the current year. So hearing a concept like do this brave, bold, scary shit. And like, once you put yourself in that position, all of a sudden your back is up against the wall. I'm like, you're shit out of luck. You don't have a choice. You want to put food on the table. Before you used to be able to do this and put food on the table. Now you put yourself in a position where you have to do this to put food on the table. But guess what? You will always put fucking food on the table. So all that happened was what was required of me in order to make it happen was a little bit different. Before, my bills were like, I don't remember, maybe like $2,000 a month. No, it must have been left because I was making $400 a week. So I remember my rent was like $600 and that used to like suffocate me. So like, let's say my bills were $1,500 a month and I made $2,000 a month. Because I used to get tips and stuff. So somewhere around $1,500 a month. And like, so I had to think and act and behave in a way where I made $1,500 a month. Now my bills are somewhere around $30,000 a month. Like required of me is $30,000 a month just to live and pay my bills. So what's required of me to put food on the table for my children has changed and grown. And so what's required of me has changed and grown. But I remember when I first heard that, I thought like, yeah, he doesn't get it. He's a guy. He has no concept. He's never been a single mom. He's never come from the fucked up family that I came from. He's never been through the trauma and abuse that I've gone through. He was never labeled like the stupid blonde girl. He was never blah, 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 blah. On and on and on the excuses went. And I like had a block to hearing it, right? Like when I first heard it, I was just like, yeah, like he doesn't get it, right? It's kind of like when a trainer I remember like many times I would go to a trainer and it was a guy and he would tell me how to eat and I just like didn't listen, like block it out because like you're a guy, you don't get it. You don't get what it is to be a woman, have a woman's hormones and a woman's metabolism, like you just don't get it, right? So like I would block out wisdom from mentor, and then that transitioned into basically like like I would think that they were just like, oh, they're just trying to sell shit to me. Like they're not genuine. Like they're just really good at sales. This sounds so good because they know what they're saying to me. Like they figured out what to say to me in order to get me to believe that this could be possible for me. And so then I would really kind of block people out or not listen just based on the fact that they had an offer for me or they had a way for me to enter into an arena to do work. And I would just assume that everything they said was just to get me into the arena and had nothing to do with reality. Whereas now when I look back, I kind of laugh because even the people who were just salesy assholes, because there are people like that, they still had awesome, like their shit was still valuable. It was still good. Though, and the wisdom they were dropping was still really good. Just because it also seconded as a way to get me to buy their shit doesn't mean it wasn't true and doesn't mean it wasn't really good, awesome shit. And so like, that's the kind of stuff that can be tension for people, right? Like, just think of the things I named. These are just like super basics. These are like super just like basics, right? Like, okay, I'm in a church and everybody's miserable here. Maybe this isn't my thing. Maybe I want to consider that I believe a little bit differently, or I have different rules for myself, or I have different whatever it is, right? So that shakes the foundation, right? Like I actually was on a date the other day. Actually, it was the other week. And it was an internet date with some random genius guy. It was my very first one and I just got it out of the way. So I went out on a date and, you know, this guy was talking about the Big Bang Theory, and I don't really believe in the Big Bang Theory. Like, I just don't. However, I'm open to allowing myself to learn stuff and feel it out because I'm not scared to try things on anymore, right? I also don't feel like I'm not going to go buy a book on it either. All right, so listen, but for a second, right? So like, as soon as he started talking about it, I got a little bit anxious in my belly. Like, wait a minute, like my entire business is based on faith and connecting to soul. And like, what if that wasn't true? Like, what if I was just that, like the kind of dumb girl, like I used to believe, oh my God, you guys are going to laugh. Okay, I'm just going to admit it. I used to think that people who thought that the moon affected your, like full moon day, that affected people, I thought they were really stupid and weird. And so then one day I was in Bali and I was getting yoga, and the instructor was really incredible. So she was like, she would tell us the connections that were common sense, kind of science-based connections to what she was doing, which was really helpful for a very pragmatic person like me. So she was just talking about how the moon controls the tide in the ocean, which I know because I'm a science girl, right? So like, I know, of course, the moon controls the tide and the gravity, and we're 70% water. So how, of course, the moon affects us. And I was just like, oh my God, sometime when I was a kid, somebody told me that anybody believes that the moon affects people is like their woo-woo and their new age, that was the word back then, and that stay away from new age people because they'll just drag you away from God, and then, you know, you won't, like, basically open the door to all evil spirits and you'll go to hell forever and die forever and be tortured forever in hell and eternity, right? Like, blah, 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 blah. So like, there was a block for me to be able to hear that. I couldn't just hear something so fucking common sense, like the moon affects you because you're 70% water, and the moon has like gravitational pull on all water, the entire planet. So like, my mind was blown in that moment, and that was the moment I realized, like, this is real. This is a thing. This thing where you don't listen and you don't hear things because you have a belief about what the world is supposed to look like and what makes you safe. And you don't like the feeling when you hear something, when you try something on or some information is dropped to you, that makes you, it shakes your foundation a little bit. It shakes your belief system a little bit. And it makes you consider that what felt so safe, what you know, might not be true. And if it's not true, then maybe you're fucking crazy, or maybe you're stupid, or maybe you're whatever the version is, but none of that is true. Imagine if you went your whole life and you never updated any of the furniture in your home. Like, if I was never allowed to buy all this beautiful furniture that I have. I just had to take the same furniture that I always had when I had an apartment. Like, we have to have the bravery to update our belief system and what is true for us and what is possible. That's my daughter. Can you guys hear her yelling? Hold on a second. Bailey! She's like, she gets on her iPad and she talks to her friends over this game that she does, Roblox, and she screams, and she'll be in another room with the door shut and my door shut, and I can hear her screaming with her friends. If anyone has kids that play Roblox, you understand what I'm saying. I was gonna tell her to shut up, but she's too far away. Or she's screaming and can't hear me. Okay, yes, thank you, Rebecca. This is really big. So lucky for me, I was in a place where I had no choice but to have all this shit ripped open out of me. I'm walking into temples that are built for other gods, and I was taught that's blasphemy. And like, this one was around religion for me at that moment, but it's been the same experience for me. What is my beliefs about God and my spiritual beliefs? What is my beliefs about having expensive things and being wealthy? What are my beliefs on the kind of people that I get to have in my life? People that drain me, or people that have a value exchange and they're giving back to me consistently? What are my beliefs around who I get to have as a partner in love, and like what love feels like, and what is marriage to me? Like for me now, marriage is nothing but a fucking piece of paper. It didn't feel like a religious experience to me. It didn't feel like a commitment before God. It felt like I was giving someone else permission to have a piece of paper that said, now you have to do all the shit we say if you decide you don't want to stay in this relationship. To me, a relationship is I choose you. I choose you because I want to be with you, because I'm committed. I'm in this. And when I'm not, I'm not. No fucking piece of paper is going to change how I actually feel. So what are we supposed to do? Just pretend we don't feel how we feel? Pretend that something isn't dead, or something is off, or something is killing our soul? The same thing with religion. The same thing with wealth and money. The same thing with the people that you're allowed to have in your life. The same thing with your worthiness on being able to show up, or look your best, or speak your true message, or say the things that you really believe, or have boundaries on things that don't feel good for you. How about how people talk to you and how people treat you, and what resources and do you feel worthy to let people really support you or really dote on you? I was laughing because now that I'm into this whole dating thing, like now that I was about to say I have to, that would have been complete bullshit. I very much look forward to dating. It just feels a little bit like I have to right now because I'm not any good at it, right? Because I'm just in the beginning. So like anything else, it feels like I have to in the beginning because you're not that good at it yet. So I'm doing this dating thing because it is what I want to do, because I want to get good at it. So, but it's the same thing in the beginning of, you know, being able to stretch out into that. Like, it's just a journey of me being honest about how something makes me feel, right? And allowing myself to do things that I suck at so that I can get good at them, and staying open to being able to hear how the successful people think. Now, oh God, I feel like I want to scream this from some rooftop. You know this scenario where they say, like, if you had a microphone and there was a whole planet and the whole planet could listen to you and you were just going to say one thing, what would you say to the whole world? And that's a great scenario. I fucking love that one, right? So basically, like, if I had a microphone and I could say one thing to the whole fucking planet, what I would say is... Okay, this is not what I would say. That was a terrible scenario because my brain just went way off on another planet, because I know exactly what I would say and it wasn't what I was just about to say. Oh, that was funny. Okay. Anyways, my point is, none of that fucking matters. My point is, you really get to be honest about how you actually fucking feel, because how you feel matters. It's smarter than you. How you feel is smarter than... Look, if I feel like that person's taking advantage of me, it's either because I have a pattern and I think everybody's taking advantage of me, in which case you're probably aware that you have a pattern where you're thinking everybody's taking advantage of you. You must have some awareness around that. But if I feel like someone's taking advantage of me, and I really feel like someone's taking advantage of me, and I've checked in with like, can I put my finger on a reason, etc., and it very much just feels like someone's taking advantage of me, they're taking advantage of you. Now, they're taking advantage of you based on what you are available to handle. And we need to raise the fucking standards on what we're available to handle, for sure. For 100% sure. Okay, I'm not going to go down that train because that one's a big one for me. Like, you just deserve to feel safe and to feel happy and to feel lit the fuck up and to feel joyful. Like, can you hear me? You deserve to feel happy every day, lit the fuck up every day. Sure, you're gonna have bad days. Sure, you're just gonna be moody. I'm getting my monthly cycle, and even my ex was here yesterday and was like, within 7 days, mark my words, I don't care if God came down from heaven and told me you're not, I know you're getting your period. And I just started dying laughing, like, it is what it is, right? It's not like I'm not cranky. And like just earlier, my daughter said something and she was like, what? And I just like repeated it really loud back to her like a cranky biatch. Like, that's what it is. But it doesn't mean that I'm not truly happy today and lit the fuck up and excited and enjoying my life and excited about the future. Doesn't mean I'm not holding shit tons of tension right now. Like, if you guys only knew the amount of tension that I'm holding in my life because of decisions that I've made to put my ass in the place where I'm required to show up, of course I am, but I'm still fucking happy because I got to design a life based on my rules. Now, when it comes to picking mentors, this is what I finally figured out. You are going to be triggered as shit by the mentors that are meant for you. They're going to say things that make you a little bit nervous or make you a little bit uncomfortable, or it's just gonna feel, maybe it doesn't feel uncomfortable because you're so damn ready, but it's gonna feel like I don't know, like you can hear their voice. Like, I can hear you. Like it's like the fog just moves away. It's like, I can fucking hear you. And maybe it's taking you to the edge of what you're able to hear, because it's taking you in past what you already can actually acknowledge yourself, into a new space. So it feels a little bit foggy or confusing, but there's something about it that you can hear. You can hear them, right? It's like your soul hears them. It's like a soul connection with the human being in front of you. And it should scare you. You should feel like you can't bullshit that person. If you're picking mentors that you can bullshit, that's on you. I mean, honestly, that's on you, because there is mentor and mentee fit everywhere. Like, everybody has someone that's a fit for them, just like a relationship, right? Like, there's somebody for everybody. Now, thank you. Okay. So they should scare the shit out of you. They should scare you. You should feel like they're going to call you out on your shit. You should feel like they can track and they can track your shit, and they can see your shit, and it should scare you. And you should also, which is something that people shy away from, my number one thing that I choose, this is my number one way that I choose a mentor, is by someone who shows up in a way where it creates tension for me. So the payment that I make is one that's like creates tension for me, because every month that I make the payment, or if I pay for a year or 6 months like I just did, then it's like, am I showing up in a way to have made that investment worth it? Because that is like a barking dog right on my ass, like staying on me, because I don't like how it feels to feel like I just paid for something very high end or expensive and I'm not utilizing it or making it worth it, right? Which is another thing I'm going to teach you guys. Okay. So they should scare you. You should be able to hear their voice clearly, and there should be tension created. So one of the ways that tension's created for me is a payment that I make them. Like, that is a really awesome way to keep me. You can only make so much time passive scrolling out before you're like, fuck. Like, either I'm dropping out and I can't do this and I failed, end of story, or I need to show the fuck up. And I like that tension. I don't like it. It works. I like it because it creates success in it gets me to all the places I want to go. Now, the other way that it creates tension is you choose someone who shows up in life in a way that you envision yourself to show up as, right? Like, so, okay, let's use this Facebook Live as an example. Yeah, fuck the bullshit. On this Facebook, for example, a lot of people will tell me that they love my energy. 70%, that's like a ginormous fat guess if it's 70%, but I'm just saying a shit ton of percent of the people who join my programs join because when they are in my energy, when they have a touch point with me, they feel better. They feel re-energized. They feel clear. They feel inspired. They feel motivated. And that's temporary, right? Those things don't last. I teach the things that will help you to do it on your own, right? I ain't trying to be anybody's fucking addiction. Netflix, maybe. Me and actually one of my mentors was laughing about how people tell us we're like Netflix. Just someone said the other day, I hope this doesn't offend you that you're like I binge on you like Netflix. And I was laughing and I made a joke with her about it. No, I'm not offended. That is a fucking honor. Thank you very much. I take that as a super high compliment. Zero offendedness going on. Whoever's sending me love hearts, I love you. Oh, Heather, love you. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what was I saying? So the last piece is they show up in a way where it creates tension for me, because they're showing up at such a higher level. Because what happens is they've recreated belief systems that allow them to show up in a way where they give themselves the things that they need in order to be able to show up in the way that's required of them in order to create epic fucking results. And the more consistently you do that over time, the stronger and faster you get. I just did a blog on this. If you guys missed that blog on my personal page, you need to go over there after and check that out. I dropped some serious fucking value in that blog. I do in a lot of my blogs have like shit it's the same shit that people pay for, but they don't pay attention because it's harder to focus on that than when you get like that value back to back to back to back. So that's why people join the programs, and then people like my energy, so they get closer to me in my higher end programs, and that's sort of how it works. So they show up in a way in life where how they show up creates tension for me, because they're showing up in a much more powerful way than me and more consistently than me. And so I'll watch them keep showing up so relentlessly that I'm like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. I'm so this, and that creates tension for me. So one of two things is going to happen. The payments that I'm making is creating tension. Am I making those payments worth it? And how they're showing up is creating tension for me because I'm not showing up anywhere near them. I'm not going to pick a mentor who I show up as big as them, right? Like that doesn't even make any sense. So I'm getting this tension. And every human being on the planet doesn't like to feel tension. We don't like to feel a whole bunch of tension around things, right? Like we like to feel like we're doing a good job and not feel tension. So what happens is I have all this tension that's created, and what's required of me is to show up to relieve the tension or to quit. That's it. I can quit and ease off, or I can show up and relieve that tension that I feel. And you can fuck it up bad enough. Yep, I'm just going to say this because you know how I do. You could fuck it up bad enough where now it's too late and you can't make up for it. People do that. So like over the holidays, I know, friends of mine, I probably was damn close between the divorce and the holidays and traveling and stuff. Like I wasn't damn close, but I was at a new level of like pushing it really far and like, I pushed it really far, and then I had to be like, oh fuck, you pushed it really far, Mandy. Now it's time to get your ass in gear, right? And that's what it is. And other people will look at that like that's bad. Like, but I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I feel all that tension. Yeah, the fuck you do. If you're not going to show up under that amount of tension, you're certainly not going to show up without that tension. Like, give me a break. Like, does that even make any sense to you? So what happens, this is the part that people don't understand. What happens is when you're under that amount of tension is you just learn to handle the tension better. The tension that I can handle now, I'm shocked. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Sarah, and I was telling her that I'm kind of annoyed that I don't freak out sooner, because when you freak out, when you're like, fuck, I have to do this, and you sort of have that like that sense of urgency or that panic moment, you show up really big. And I'm like, it's kind of annoying that it takes so far for me to have that panic moment now. We need to find a new tool of me showing up without having to hit the panic moment. And it's still, I guess I got a little bit lazy and I just sort of relied on that like sense of urgency that happens when your back is up against the wall. And I haven't really required myself to do it any differently. So now I'm like, well, that's a lot further than I would like it to be. So now I'm going to implement something else, right? So now I just decided that I don't like how it feels letting it go that far and having to go into a space of creating that urgency in order to get it done. Now, it's interesting because that's not really working. So if I'm relying on everything that I've learned in the past, my power move, even though I just did it in December, I made a massive payment and investment at the very end of the year to lower my tax rate, but that also would require me to show up huge over the next few months. And then I still kind of didn't. I still just did like, I know to like, okay, I'm going to acknowledge this. I can acknowledge, and I even just did a post about this today, that it feels like I show up so relentlessly and so big because I do, but it's really fucking easy for me to show up how I do. It's like really easy because I've just disciplined myself into making these routines and part of my life over time. And I just keep expanding because I keep that tension right on me. So I have no choice but to show up and and I just keep up leveling. So like now I'm at a place where like the stuff that I just do really easy every day seems like epic shit to other people, but it's really not to me. It's not to me. And if I'm being really honest, over the last few weeks, I didn't show up that big. I really didn't. I allowed myself to put those stuff on the back burner because something else was more important. And I showed up epically with the things that were more important, which I think is wisdom. I think it's wisdom. And at the same time, I got to acknowledge to myself like, okay, cool. So the level I'd like to be able to like really let this be really important and give myself this attention and still up level this. Okay, cool. So the question I would ask myself right now is like, what would be the next level thing that I would do? Like, what would I do to put my ass on the line? I thought doing this huge thing and this huge thing, apparently I'm way further along than I thought I was. Those actually didn't create the sense of urgency. So what would I do in order to create that sense of urgency for myself to put my ass back on the line and get that sense of urgency? Or maybe I could have enough faith to know that I could step into it without it. Not happening right now though. Like right now that's not working. So the thing that I do in my life is call in mentors who I can hear their voice, who I know are going to be able to call me out my shit, and I can't spin circles around them because that's boring. If I can spin circles around you, you're done. I'm done. And guess what? I'm really good at that. I'm really fucking good at that. So I need to find people that are powerful enough to be able to handle my big energy. I got big fucking energy in case you didn't notice. So those are the things that I do and the tension of the payment and the tension of And it's like, I don't know why people act like that's such a big thing to talk about. Like, it's only common sense. Like, what is bad about talking about that? I see people post stuff like that all the time. Like, I think it's stupid. And okay, I'm just going to say it. I think it's stupid, and I think people who say stuff like that don't have very big results. Even if they look like they do, I bet on the back end they don't. I really bet they don't have results on the back end, because that's a stupid thing to say. And anyone who's had massive success is going to tell you putting your ass in a position where you're required to show up is the way to do it, because human nature is to find the easy way out, to like, what is the path of least resistance? What is the easiest way to get through this? What is the thing that I can do to, like, I'll do the bare minimum in order to get this done, and then I'll go back to doing whatever squirrely thing that I was doing. That is human fucking nature. You are riding against human nature. Like, for you to magically think that you're just going to show up without any tension is ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. I just said it. I've said a lot of things in this video. I guess we're taking saying the things behind the curtain to the next level. Oh my God. Okay, so circling back for a second. Does everybody hear me? Like, so does this make sense to you on this? This is how I pick my mentors, and this is how I think around it. And this is how I actually invest and how I live day to day. And now the tension that I hold is like annoyingly high, like annoyingly high. It would be nice, because in the beginning, when the tension is like, when you can only handle a little bit of tension, you show up really big, or you have a meltdown and fritz out and shut down. But if you put yourself in a position where you really have no choice but to make it happen, you will. Of course you will. Has there ever been a time when you had to do something or some big consequence was going to happen and you just didn't? You just didn't do it? Just didn't? No. Because when shit's hitting the fan and it has to get done, it gets done always. Most people just don't have the stamina to be able to step into that. And because they don't understand that it gets really easy, and it just gets easier and easier and easier and easier and easier into an annoying place. And a lot of my peers and the people I talk to, mentors and stuff like that, they'll admit, like, we sort of miss the beginning and that hustle that you have in the beginning when like that dog was barking at your ass, and then it gets a little easier and you require a different set of skills and different motivations, a deeper why, a really powerful why, and being surrounded by people who are doing, you know, this like us, like those things are required in order for you to keep going, because it's just different, right? Okay, so circling back to unlocking greatness. Okay, so this is specifically for, I didn't finish that, I'm sorry. Twice I tried and didn't. I did bad on sales on this video. You guys made me squirrel out. It's all your fault. Okay, listen to me for a second. This is for people who long for more, who know damn well they're meant for more, and who can see these ranks of these people that are at higher levels. This is exactly how it felt for me. So I'm just going to say it like it is, okay? You see these people who are crushing life, who are doing amazing things. You can see the people that are dominating our market and are dominating online entrepreneurship. And there's like these different ways and different skills, because the fucking how is not the thing, right? And so you don't understand what it takes in order to get there, though. Or maybe you have an inkling or an understanding of what it takes, but you don't have a system in order to be able to get yourself there. Or maybe you even kind of understand the system and you just can't sort of break through and have the bravery to get there. I'm covering every fucking piece of this because, guys, I'm just going to say this. I'm fucking moving on. Hi, Liana. I'm moving on to the next level. I'm not going to be working with new coaches anymore. I'm not going to be working with people who are not doing epic things and jumping in. I mean, it's just part of the journey and process. This is what happens, right? Like, as I learn and grow, it doesn't feel good for me to help someone. I have this much wisdom and you can only handle this much, and I'm only allowed to give you this much. That just doesn't feel good anymore, right? It's not an ego thing. It's just a is what it is thing. It's a black and white thing, right? So it feels good for me when I can work with people that I can give you this much out of this much. That's what fucking feels good. So I'm moving on. However, when I tuned in to like what felt good, I see this, there's like a big group of people who are having success. They're doing amazing. They're doing a good job, but they're just not breaking through into that 1%. They're just not breaking through into those higher level ranks. They're just not quite having the bravery, the clarity, or the, you know, organization and system in order for them to be mass seen all over the internet and be able to sell their shit epically and be able to feel confident and then be able to have the bravery to stay in the room with those kind of people, that discipline and the strength and the fierceness and that this is how it happens, right? Like you can't let a lot of time pass in this field because that's just not how it works. But there is very inviting, exciting ways to do this where you're lit the fuck up, you love your job and you're happy and you just enjoy the process. That is the whole fucking point. Why would we do this if it wasn't enjoyable? And the way I see people doing it, I know that shit's not enjoyable. I fucking know that it's driving you crazy and it just feels like a 24/7 business that never fucking leaves you alone. And if you don't stay on top of it, you're going to drown. Yes, there's a pace like this, but there's a way to do it where it feels good and you're making power moves and they work. And then the momentum and the results makes you feel like you're getting, like that brings excitement and that brings energy and that brings discipline and that brings the motivation in order to do the next thing and the clarity for the next thing, because results get you excited. When you lose that first 10 pounds, that feels really fucking good and it's going to lead to you losing the second pounds. But when you're treading water and you're doing all these things and you're just sort of maintaining the business, that doesn't fucking feel good and you're not going to be motivated to go to the next level. And then you're going to wonder why, right? So this is specifically for people who have this in their radar, like you know you want to go all the way. You know you want to crush it in the 1%. You're not the kind of person who just wants to make 6 figures. This ain't for you, right? I just want to make 6 figures and just sort of relax and sort of not do anything. This is for the people who know they're fucking meant to change the world. You know that you want to be in the ranks with the greats. You know that you have some shit to shift and you have some mindset stuff to turn around. Bang out a system, learn the discipline in order to show up every day and by the way, the system that I'm creating you is not a one size fits all. This is a system specifically designed. I'm going to take you through a process where you're going to be crystal clear what the fuck your mission in life is, what your dream life looks like, what is your vision, what are you trying to fucking create specifically for you, right? So you're clear about that, and we're designing a system based on you being able to actually create that. Basically, it's like guaranteed results, because if you're showing up doing the power moves for the areas of your life that are really required, this is like handmade, designed fucking success machine for you. Do you see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, we're learning the mindset. We're learning how do we handle that tension and stay in that tension? How do I know where to leap next? When am I ready? How do I get myself into a ready state? How do I feel confident that I know I can do this? Because look, we can't leap into something we're like, well, I'm not really sure I can do this. You ain't fucking leaping nowhere. We barely leap when we're like, I fucking got this. We still hesitate when we leap. So we at least got to get to the place where you're like, I fucking know I got this, right? So that is the intention on Unlocking Greatness. It's 6 weeks. We start January 29th. And this one is a call to action to PM me, right? Because it's not just one that you purchase, it's one that you talk to me first, okay? So it's limited spots, it's first come, first serve. I know there's a couple of people waiting that I haven't quite got to, but it's right in order. I'm getting to you right in order. So you just PM me on my personal page, preferably. You can do it on my business page, but it's at Miss Mandy Perry is just easier for me to track. And then if you have any questions, support@mandyperry.com, of course. And after this, I mean, this is basically the last chance to learn these kind of things before I'm starting to work with the multi-6-figure entrepreneurs who are ready to really up-level their shit, take this to the next level, start building the things that make their life enjoyable and their business enjoyable. So this is truly a process of unlocking your potential and unlocking that greatness and really starting to see with the eyes of a person who's ready to step into the stuff and who's owning it and fucking not just like, okay, I'm ready to do it. I feel it, I'm owning it, I am it, I'm stepping in. And it's not like you have to move on and stay with me. That is not what this is for. This is just about you fucking shifting all the way to that level where now you're at the place where like, okay, I get it, I see it, I see how it's possible, I know this is for me. We're gonna be implementing and actually doing the thing, so you're gonna have experience doing it, you're gonna feel confident doing it, you're gonna have the fucking system that you're showing up every single day that you know exactly how to get the results every fucking day. Results based on your actual dream, so your why is fucking driving you and pulling you. This is so big. I definitely had said it straight online. I feel like a fucking genius coming up with this course. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love all my courses, but this one particularly makes me feel like a fucking genius. I feel like an actual genius teaching this. I don't know anybody who's taught anything like this. And I'm like, why? When I look back, like if I had known this a year ago, are you kidding me? My whole life would be different, as though it's not different enough. It would be 10 times as different if I knew this. The shit that I'm teaching you guys in this group is everything. It's like all the pieces. It's everything. Okay. I am rather excited about this group. I think that's the most I've ever said about a group ever. Oh my God, I love you guys so much. Listen, If you got value in this video, please share it. I actually am connected with some pretty epic people, and I'm not gonna lie, it means a lot to me when you share the videos, because I'm able to connect with people that can hear my voice really well. And of course I appreciate it and feel loved. It's my love language, acts of service. Feels like an act of service. I've never admitted that shit before either. Wait, what is my second one? Hold on. Wait, what is you guys' love language? Tell me. Do you know what your love language is? Mine is acts of service by a landslide. That's why I don't even remember the other one. What are the other ones? Gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation, touch. That's definitely not mine. Maybe it would be words of affirmation if they were intelligent words of affirmation. Like, not intelligent as in not stupid, intelligent as in like, if you said something about me that I know about myself that I feel like I've really worked hard on, or I've, you know, like if it was like a intimate words of affirmation, maybe that would mean something to me. Really? That was my ex's, Gina. Acts of service and words of appreciation, then gifts. What are the other ones? I forget what the other ones are. What are they? They're, oh, time spent. That's not mine. Physical touch, but I think it's words of affirmation too. That's so funny, you just took it the other day. Mine's not physical touch, maybe gifts. Nah, I buy my own shit. I like flowers, I love flowers. No, I do like gifts. Okay, because I love gifts from my clients. When my clients send me gifts, that's why I literally went and bought a P.O. box and put it on my website just to get gifts from people. Okay, it must be gifts, it is. I was thinking more like gifts on holidays or like birthdays and stuff. No. It's the gifts for no reason. That is definitely huge. Yeah. Okay. So it would be acts of service, anything that makes my life easier. Like if somebody goes out of their way to make my life easier, or to like do something for me that I knew wasn't, okay, for an example, the opposite is like, I can't tell you that example. Okay. I don't think you'll care. So my ex, when I was pregnant, on the list of things that I had to buy, just like you have to buy, was the rocker, you know, like the rocker that you sit in. So it was on the list that I had to get the rocker, and then Mother's Day came up, and then he bought me the rocker for Mother's Day. And I was so pissed. I was like, that is bullshit. That was already on the like to-do list. That's not a gift. Yeah, it must be gifts. Cause I remember just being like, that's not a gift. You're a terrible gift giver. Yeah, so it's acts of service and some version of gifts and some version of words of affirmation. Not like you did a good job, but like something specific, like, wow, you really grew in that area or something like that. I have a mentor that's very good with the words of affirmation, always at the perfect timing. It's just like exactly what I needed to hear, or feel validated in that thing when you show up and you work really fucking hard. That's why so many times in my blogging, I'll talk about like, nobody else saw it, because I know, I get it. Like, I get what it takes for you guys to be in this field and to show up, and the tension and the worry and like the what the fuck if, and like how do I know what to do this, and like just wanting to be there already, and having this burning desire to leave your impact on the world and really help people and like really fucking change their life. Not just like, oh great, they signed up, but like really their life fucking changed. And I know what all that feels like, which is why I'm constantly saying like, ain't nobody around you gonna give you the validation that you can give yourself, because wasn't nobody else fucking there. Nobody else knew what it took to crawl yourself out of bed that day and to show up and to push it another day and go again and try again and fail and fall on your face and not get the result and deal with the drama around here and change the boundary there and up level this and lose that weight that you gained when you're stressed the fuck out or on the antidepressant pill. And, you know, like just, it's like, boom, 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 boom. Every air is like, poof, 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 you know, put out the fire, I'll blow this, do this. Okay, notice that one, do this one. Like, I fucking know what it takes. Yeah. So when someone can say words of affirmation that reaches that level, then that shit would mean something to me. Other than that, like, oh, you did a great job. I fucking know. I don't need you to fucking tell me that. Oh, am I allowed to say that? Oh, well, I fucking said it. It's annoying, actually, when people are just like, ah. Like, I'm almost insulted. Is that funny? But then other things that people say to me and they're like, oh, I hope you're not offended, but, and I'm like, I think it's a massive compliment. Like the other day, I hope you're not offended that I binge on you like Netflix. What? That is like a huge compliment. Thank you. Yes, we are. Yes, I completely agree. Oh my God. Okay. That is all I had to share with you guys today. I felt like that was really important. I'm really, really particularly excited to see who ends up in this group. I think it's going to be a really powerful group of people, because it's going to be the people who know that they're meant for greatness and are going to the fucking 1%. And they know damn well they're going to the 1%, and they're on that cusp, and they're just kind of like flaffling around, not quite getting there. And I'm really fucking excited to work with those people right there. That's exciting. And that's gonna be like, bam, I'm gonna have some awesome testimonials, because that's fucking good place to be. And I'm just gonna walk up and kick your ass right off the cliff. You know how I roll. Aw, thanks, Joyce. Compliment, is that words of affirmation? No, compliments are good. We love compliments. Compliments are the bomb ticketing. Okay, so let's see. We covered, let me just check. I need to check the title, make sure I gave you everything. Flaffling. Is that a word, or did I make it up? I'm not really sure. Oh, I didn't. How do I maximize my results with mentors? Okay, so this is for the diehards that stayed on. Because you stayed on, you're gonna get a reward. You didn't get off early, just because I was telling you about my program. Okay, the way I maximize my results with my mentors, fuck, this is a really big one, is I let my shit be seen. If I was making it really easy, that's what I would say. I let my shit be seen. I'm not afraid to ask the crazy ass questions. I'm not afraid to expose maybe some ignorant parts of me, maybe some judgy parts of me, maybe some ugly parts of me, maybe some fucked up parts of me, whatever it actually is. Like, I'm not afraid to expose that stuff at all. Like, I let that shit be seen, and I'll ask every damn question. The other way that I maximize my results with my mentors is by doing enough of the work where I'm always ready with the next level questions. So like, instead of going to my mentor with this, like whoever, doesn't matter. It could be someone I pull in for a task in my business and hired. It could be a mentor that I stay with that is just like a mindset mentor that just has gotten to know me. It could be any version of this, but whatever the support is that I pull in, I sit my ass down and be mature enough to do whatever work I can do to get my place all the way to the edge of like, okay, this is everything I do know. This is what I did do. This is what worked and what didn't work. This is what I think, and this is what I don't know, and I need support with this. And when I'm mature enough to get myself to that place, instead of just being like, basically expecting them to do the work for me, right? So when I can be open to a new way of thinking, instead of, I remember when I used to do the whole like they're just being lazy, like they're telling me like basically maybe some kind of mindset thing or whatever. And I would think they're just being lazy instead of telling me what I need. They're just like quick answering me and ignoring me. And I would be frustrated, and then I wouldn't do that work because I didn't recognize the importance and the value. And then I would notice my clients doing the same thing, and I'd be like, fuck, they don't get it. So I would word it differently because I'm aware. I think one of my skill sets is to be able to make you fucking hear me. Like, I'm like, okay, I know that you may have heard this a million times, but you're not fucking implementing it because you don't get it. So I need you to listen to me. Or I know this might sound like something that's really easy to dismiss, but I need you to fucking pay attention because this will change your life, right? Like, I've learned to do that because I was one of the people who would just dismiss things if it didn't sound pragmatic or if it didn't sound like a task that I could implement or whatever it was. So I learned to actually just trust the person that I've chosen for whatever the task is, and whatever feedback they're giving me to actually do that work, because I've already done as much as I know to do and brought that to the table. I was mature enough to do the best that I could with what I have and implement what I do know and bring my results from my fucking work to the table. And that is very coachable. And that's how I maximize my results with my mentors. I let my shit be seen. I'm mature enough to do whatever I fucking can do and actually implement the things that I can and bring my results to my mentor. Or at least a specific question, instead of like a, which I used to do all the time, like a, how do I do this thing? I have no idea how to do this. I've tried it a million times. I suck at it. It's a big, huge mess and I don't know how to do it. That is like expecting someone else to do the work for you. And I used to do that for sure, for 100% sure. And I know my clients are going to do that with me because they're going to have to go through the season of learning just like I did. But that's why I'm sharing this shit with you guys right now, because if you can learn to do those, which I'm going to break that down completely in the Unlocking Greatness program. It's like literally I'm going to take you guys through all that stuff so that you can maximize every investment that you take. But that's a generalization of the task that's required. Like it's really just being more mature. That's it. It's like being mature enough to sit your ass down. It is mature, right? Because you're squirreling the fuck out and you're freaking out and you're being frantic and you're numbing out and you're doing whatever you're doing and you're not focused. You're not fucking focused on the thing in front of you. And then you want someone else to save you while you're being a fucking mess. But like, how can someone help you when you're all over the place? That doesn't even make any sense. Just the other day, I had to say to one of my clients, like, girl, you're fucking everywhere. I can't help you. I need you to calm the fuck down right now. And I need you to tune in and I need you to be specific right now. We're going to bang this out, but you need to calm the fuck down and focus. Don't tell me all that shit. If you say it one more time, I'm going to fucking delete it. I'm going to fucking hang up on you. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. Because I love this girl to death. Oh my gosh, she's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And I couldn't help her because she was so fucking all over the place. So I had to say it. No, it's like a virtual slap right in the face. Like slap her in the face. Sort of dump water on her head, sit her the fuck down, like, okay, now we're going to focus. We're going to be more mature about this. And it's an emotional maturity that I was terrible at. Fuck. I mean, it was just all freaking out and all like, you were lazy if you don't tell me exactly how to fix this. Which like I look back and I'm so grateful at the patience that the people in my life had because I just didn't know any better. And of course I have massive amounts of patience for this because I know exactly how it feels. And I also know how to speak to my clients in a way where they can hear that I'm here to root for you and I need you to fucking do your work now so that I can help you because I want to fucking help you. And like, I'm ready to help you and you're wasting fucking time. Like time is passing and I'm not helping you as much as I could be. I'm helping you this much when I could be helping you this much if you would be fucking mature and sit down and do the work, right? So yeah, that's a big part of what I do as well. I don't even know how that just came up. Yeah, you can't, I mean, and then think about it, when you're frantic and you're all over the place and then someone gives you the task, which is usually like a how to calm the fuck down task, you're going to be so annoyed because when you're in that frantic place, you're in the do mode. And so you just want them to tell you what to go do so you can check them off the checklist really quick so that you're not feeling guilty about the 7 hours that you just fucking sat on Netflix drinking wine and eating potato chips or whatever the fuck you were doing, right? Obviously, that's my favorite example in the whole world because that's what I used to do. Do you guys know the story when I said to one of my mentors in the very beginning, actually it was the douche-tard mentor that I had. I just said that. So it's the fucking say all the things day. I should probably tell my team to take this video down after. We're not spending this video. No, we are. This is how I roll. Okay. So that particular mentor, this was brilliant though. It was so supportive. I said, you know, I think I want to quit. Like I'm done. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't want the business. I don't want the results. And they were just like, go ahead. I was like, I just want to fuck off and go watch Dr. Phil and drink wine. And they were like, go ahead. And then I was like, well, what do you mean? Go ahead. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. Well, I don't really want to. Well, I mean, I don't really want to. I was just, what, being fucking dramatic and annoying? Yes, I was. I was being dramatic and annoying. Any other questions? So yeah. If you're frantic and all over the place, you're not very coachable. And then when they do give you actual tasks that will help you calm the fuck down and tune in and focus, you're going to not want to hear it because you're going to want the to-do task because you've created an addiction to feeling like I'm getting shit done by checking off that to-do list and you haven't learned the power moves, which by the way is the #1 focus in the Unlocking Greatness program. The #1 focus is the power fucking moves and having that strategy to show up and do every fucking day, which has been gold for me, obviously. Okay, I'm trying to think if anything's coming up. Okay, I told you guys about the new program. I told you about how to choose a mentor. I told you about how to maximize your results. I asked you to please share the video. Would love you if you did. I love you anyway, but I'll love you more if you do. And pay attention because it'll change your life. That's epic. Yes. And that is all. Happy Sunday. The program starts the 29th. I love you guys. And I will see you guys all soon. Have a fantastic weekend.